Well, hello and welcome to another video. This time I have an LG Smart TV that I thought would maybe be interesting to try and repair and make a video of the process. This TV was found in a dumpster behind an apartment block and I was asked to repair it. As you can see here, the problem with this one seems to be the backlight. When the TV is powered on, it works correctly for a short while before the backlight disappears from everywhere but this one corner. In order to disassemble this TV, you need to remove several screws and then lift up the plastic back, which is held on via clips. Those clips actually require some force to detach, so be careful not to damage the screen. Inside this smart TV we can see two circuit boards here. The green one is the main board and the brown one is the power supply, so don't touch that one. Also we can detach this part from the plastic shell. It has the navigation buttons and the remote control receiver. And I forgot to put one part back in, which I took out when I reassembled this one earlier. So let's just pretend that the speakers were also there the whole time, okay? These kinds of issues with TV backlights can seem simple to fix, just replace the backlight, right? But often that isn't actually the problem, as the problem can also be the power supply or even the main board. But let's try to diagnose further which one it might be in this case. These black and white connectors in the top of the power supply are where the backlights actually connect to. So these two flat cables that go to the bottom of the TV actually aren't the backlight. They are address bars which are parts of the LCD display itself. The power supply actually has a diagnostic LED here, which is kinda nice. So it flashes and gives us an error code. I tried to find some information on what these different error codes mean, but I found conflicting information. Some were claiming that 4 flashes is a power supply issue and some were claiming that it's indeed a backlight issue. So we're gonna have to just continue diagnosing this one. I don't want to order wrong replacement parts. One thing which is helpful here is that the backlight is divided to two different backlight strips. I detached the white one which is responsible for the left side of the backlight. So let's see if the problem still persists. And it does. As you can see, the backlight went out in the corner here again. So let's just try the same thing, except now the right part of the backlight disconnected. And okay, when I this time powered on the TV, the problem was not there anymore. So the left side of the backlight, which was connected, continued working even though I kept it on for quite a long time. Also, the diagnostic LED never started flashing again. Okay, so at this point I was pretty sure that the problem was the right side backlight strip. So I needed to replace the backlight strips. I ordered replacement parts and continued to disassemble the TV. These address bars are quite fragile, especially the flex cables that connect them to the LCD. So I taped them down for the disassembly because I need to flip the TV around a couple times. To remove the outer metallic bezel, few screws need to be removed around the bezel, and after that it's still connected with some clips. So in this part there is also the danger of damaging the panel itself. So be careful, because if you damage the 4K panel, there's no sense in trying to repair the TV anymore. Panels are just too expensive to replace if you even can find them. Which is why it sucks that the backlight is so difficult to replace and we'll need to disassemble everything in order to get to the backlight, even though it's a simple and quite cheap part itself. I tried to not bend the panel too much in any one point. This was quite nerve-wracking, but eventually I got the panel extracted from the TV. One method that seems quite popular for this is to use two large suction cups to lift the panel up from the casing, but I didn't have the tools, so I did it this way. Next thing that needs to be removed is this black plastic inner frame, and it was for some reason really irritating and difficult to remove, but eventually I got it removed. After that there's some translucent light filter things that need also to come out, and the thing with those light filters is that there's a stack of them of different thickness, and I guess they need to be in the correct order, or otherwise the picture will seem really weird and the light won't be spread evenly on the screen. So I tried to use tape to keep these in the correct order, but I still managed to mix them up somehow. And I needed to disassemble it again and fix it after that. So I recommend taping all of the layers together and remembering which side is up, because that apparently matters too, as I found out. Okay, so finally here we can see the backlight strip. So I disconnected the backlight strips and tried to gently get them out, but they were taped in the casing with double-sided tape. So it took quite a while until I got the old strips out. Here I have the old and new backlight strips next to each other. So the top one is the old strip, and we can see that there's some visible discoloration above the LED lights. Before sticking on the new backlight strips, I cleaned the old adhesive left from the old ones. The new backlight strips had pre-applied two-sided adhesive tape, so it was quite easy to install them. And after making sure both of the light strips lined up with each other, I connected the power connectors. After that, it was time to put all the light filter layers back, and those need to be in the exactly correct order. And after that, the black frame. Then I carefully moved the 4K panel back into the black frame, flipped the address bars onto the other side, and after that the metallic frame. Then I flipped the whole TV around and connected all of the parts, or enough of them to test if the TV still works. So turning it on for the first time after the reassembly, and let's see if we permanently broke it or not. Yeah, so it still definitely turns on, but it looks all wrong, as you can see. Initially I thought I probably broke the panel itself somehow, or then the new backlights aren't compatible. But actually what the issue turned out to be was that one of my backlight filter layers was upside down. I think it was the middle one. And after a not so quick disassembly and reassembly, I had flipped the layer around and the issue was solved. As you can see here, it caused all the light to be trapped just next to the backlight bars on the bottom of the display. But yeah, after correcting the backlight filter issue, the TV is now working as it should. And now I'm testing it to see if the backlight issue still comes back at some point, which would mean it would actually be the power supply that's the issue, but I'm hoping it will not. As this TV is from the dumpster, it obviously didn't come with a remote control, so I'm using LG's official app, the ThinQ app, but this app has to be one of the worst privacy-wise. It asks almost all of the permission, including location, just to use the remote control. Which sucks, because this app would otherwise be really good for testing purposes like this. One of the reasons I wanted to help and fix this TV was actually that I wanted to check out the LG version of WebOS. WebOS was actually first used in Palm phones, and then Palm was purchased by HP, and it was used in this HP touchpad tablet, which I liked at the time very much. I was actually surprised to find out that there's even some of the Finnish apps natively on LG WebOS. Oh, it's being discontinued. This TV also didn't have any kind of a stand, so maybe in its previous life it was mounted to a wall before being thrown out. Fortunately, since that part of TVs is usually standard, this was fixed with a cheap VESA stand. This TV has now been used for a year or more, so it was absolutely worth it to repair, even though it's an older one. Here I have the TV setup with a mini ITX PC that's running Backlight Linux. I'll be making another video of that. But I hope this video is going to be useful for someone. I don't know how many people repair these TVs anymore, but maybe someone. Anyways, if somebody actually gets to this point in the video, thanks for watching, I guess, and I'll be back with another video just when I get to editing them.